hello, my moon and stars. It is so happy to see you, and I'm very happy to be back. I'm very sorry for being gone for such a long time. I needed a small little break. I've been going through a lot of art block, and editing has gotten a lot longer for me to do, and I haven't felt as motivated. But I come with you bearing this video of some of my recent attacks for Artfight. Now, if you're wondering what Artfight is, I'm sure that there are plenty of explanation videos, but simply put, Artfight is an art trading game where you get on two different teams. This year is Seafoam versus Stardust, and you find characters, you draw them, and you gift them to other people. And if you are gifted a piece of art yourself, you can attack the person who gifted it to you, draw one of their characters, and that is called a revenge. I haven't participated before this year. I've always been a huge spectator. I've always loved seeing it, but this year I was determined to actually, get in there, be a team, and draw. I've always wanted to do it, and this year I just put pen to the paper and I said, I'm gonna do it this year. And I've met and made so much art. I've met so many artists, and it's been a truly wonderful experience. Let me tell you. I think total I've done about 24 artworks. This was one of the first few ones that I did. This character was absolutely beautiful. I love moon-themed characters, if you couldn't tell. I'm Team Stardust. And it was just really beautiful. I remember I went back at some point to keep adding to that one because I loved the character so much. Eris is so pretty. And then this one, I wanted to do my little lasso tool art style because this year I'm taking the approach that if I see a character I really like but I don't have any ideas for them, I'll bookmark it and I'll come back to it when I have an idea. And so that way I don't spend a lot of time trying to figure out what to do. If I don't have an idea for it, I skip it and I'll come back to it later. In addition to that, I'm also not forcing myself to try to be consistent. I am the one drawing it, so it will be consistent in some way or shape or form. But if I think a certain character would fit a certain style of mine that I know I can achieve, such as I thought this character would look really cool with my lasso tool lineless style, I do it, and I don't worry about it too much. I'm trying not to worry about it too much. In addition to all of that, I'm also trying to make sure that I keep a general rule of not taking more than an hour, or if I can help it, more than 2 hours per piece of art that I'm doing. Not because I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but here lately I have been realizing that the longer I spend on a piece, the more unsure that I become of it, and the more I start to overdo it. I start to overblend, I start to rethink my decisions, and I don't rely on my own intuition and my own artistic knowledge anymore. And I start thinking about that it just, I doubt it. And I want to stop doubting myself. And I have found that previously and currently, some of my best works come when I am going fast. I've learned that I'm not a super polished drawer. I'm not a super polished illustration maker artist. I've always wanted to be, but right now where my skill set is at, it's just not something that is in my wheelhouse. But I flourish with stuff that is messy and it's not super tight and refined, and I let big strokes of color. I really like that style, and it looks good when personally I do it. I think so. And so in order to cultivate that ability that I have to draw really quickly and get my ideas out on page really quickly, I try to limit myself on how long I can spend on a piece. This one was probably one of my longest pieces that I did, or ones that took the longest to make. And I haven't done a true background, fully illustrated, piece in a while. And so I'm really proud of how it came out, and I think it strengthened some ideas in my head that, hey, maybe I am a good artist after all. For this one, it is actually a character made by one of my fellow YouTubers. Hi, Joe. And for this one, I wanted to test out a more rendered, painterly style, but because I also limited myself to trying to stick to an hour as much as I could, I left certain parts of it very unfinished and still very sketchy, and I'm not mad about it. I'm actually very glad that I took that chance and I took that choice. And I gotta say, through Artfight, honestly, I think I'm improving a lot. It really helps whenever there's just a plethora of characters to both push you out of your comfort zone and strengthen your comfort zone. I think some things that people forget a lot of times when it comes to upping your skill level and upping your game to art is everyone always thinks that you need to push yourself outside of your comfort zone. And that is very valid. That is very true. I'm a huge believer of stepping outside of what is comfortable and what is normal for you and testing yourself to really push what you can do and learn new things. As artists, I think we should constantly be learning. I mean, why wouldn't you? The world is learning and the world is changing, and I always want to capture the beauty within it. But I also think that there is a real nugget of potential when it comes to sticking within your comfort zone, to use that as a platform to build up those skills. If you are really only comfortable drawing women or men, and that's like where your comfort zone lies, and you want to get out of your comfort zone, but it's hard because there's other things you want to practice on, like lighting or something, stay within your comfort zone and use your comfort zone to further your skills, like lighting or something. And as I said, Artfight has been helping me hone my skills with things I'm used to and I'm not used to. And because I have had a lot of struggle lately, I have decided to open up my $10 Patreon tier for a sketch every single month. Whether it is of you, your characters, a fan art of someone in media that you love, maybe getting a fan art for one of your friends' characters. Whichever one it is, I will draw a sketch for you every single month. If you, in Patreon, linked me a toy house, your Artfight account, a Google Docs link, or you just on Patreon send me your characters every month, I will draw it, and I will post them on Patreon for you every single month. I think it'll give me a push to sketch every day, hone my art skills, and maybe, hopefully, I can also upgrade that tier to include more finished works. I can't guarantee that the quality of them will always be the same because, as I said, I am constantly changing and I am constantly improving on myself, but I really hope to see you in there and I hope to get more experience. My standard commission TOS applies. I'll have a Google form in the link in the description if you want to go check out my TOS. And back to the drawing aspects. I've also been having a really fun time with these borders that I've been doing. Like I said, I cannot state enough. I feel like I'm a looping record. I cannot state how much I feel like Artfight has really strengthened some core aspects of both my art style and my artistic journey as a whole in what I've been inspired to do, you know? Because it's not the expectation that it needs to look a certain way. Like, I get to experiment with how I feel. That's one of the pushbacks about commissions, that one, I'm open for commissions, and two, that it's sometimes commissions can be scary because you're advertising a certain quality and a certain look to the artwork you're paying for, and that is both good and both bad, because if I see a character that I feel like I could do something really experimental with, if someone's paying me for it, but you know, do I make sense? Do I make sense at all? I feel like there's less stress to do stuff a certain way, and there's more room for playing really to the character's symbolism and imagery and quality, you know? Like, for this piece, I also did a kind of painterly, rendery style, but it was also very low effort for me because I was able to do it very quickly. I did it just under an hour, But this isn't necessarily something I would offer as a commission style because I am unsure if any paying customers would want a style that is kind of like this. And that's what's so fun about Artfight and so scary about commissions, is that it gives me room to experiment and to look into the depths of a character, really figure out what they're like, and then change my style to fit that. Whereas because commissions, you are paying for it and you are looking for a certain quality from me, it has to be the same every time. And it sounds like I don't like doing commissions. Trust me, I love doing commissions. But it's one of the differences between commissions and Artfight. And both have their strengths, both have their weaknesses. I love all of them equally. And this is probably one of my most favorite pieces, not gonna lie. But thank you for listening to me ramble. I'm so sorry. Thank you to my patrons, Dindin with Him, A. Hartley, Otokonoko, and Octopus Lion. I'm happy to be back. I hope I can continue making videos a little more frequently, but as I said, the economy sucks, and I don't even have the basic necessities to even eat or live. So, here's to hoping things will get better in the future. Thank you for listening to me ramble. As I said, thank you, my moon and stars.